Do you believe what makes you good enough is having people think well of you? Or do you believe making mistakes are bad? Do you believe that change is difficult? These are examples of limiting beliefs that prevent us from being naturally confident and accomplishing what we want in life and really having true freedom. Imagine what your life would be if you could seek out and destroy forever each and every common belief that holds you back. Then what would your life look like? You would be unstoppable. Joining me is Shelly Lefkoe. She's the co-founder of the Lefkoe Institute, and she facilitates processes that result in profound and personal organizational change quickly and permanently. Welcome, Shelly.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a big thing to say that you actually destroy people's beliefs. It sounds harsh, but it's not. What do you mean by eliminating beliefs? How do beliefs hold us back?
Well, everything we do pretty much is based on our beliefs. So if you think about if you're running the water and you believe that that water is hot, you're not going to stick your finger in it. If you believe that dogs are dangerous and a dog comes running down the street, your behavior is going to be consistent with that belief. If you believe people can't be trusted, you're not going to open up to people and have close friends to talk to. So our beliefs impact pretty much everything we do, everything we feel, and ultimately even our reality. You know, it's funny, when I ask people, do you believe life is hard? If they have that belief, they will say, well, life is hard.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you that. So the hot water example, the water is hot. But the example of life is hard isn't a reality. How do you separate reality from a belief?
That's a great question. Well, reality is what's so. Okay. Reality is observable. My spouse came home and didn't kiss me hello. That's observable. You can see that. I'm not lovable. You cannot see. That's a belief.
Okay.
So that's how that's the difference.
So if you have, say, no money in your bank account, but you say, I'm wealthy, what happens to the brain?
Not where I go.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big affirmation person. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I have literally worked with people now in every country around the world because I work on Zoom. So it's wonderful to know that the same beliefs get formed in the same way in every country around the world. I have clients in Uganda, Lisa. I mean, it's crazy.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll get back to the affirmations, but what are some of the most common beliefs around the world?
Okay. So there are actually 19 very common beliefs that people have, but the 5 that I would say, 6 that are the most common is I'm not good enough, I'm not important, mistakes and failures are bad, if I make a mistake or fail, I'll be rejected, and the ever popular belief that runs people's lives, and hopefully we'll go into a little more depth about why, and if people think they don't have it, I'll show you that you probably do.
Okay.
What makes me good enough is having other people think well of me, the belief that ran my life for way too long.
Where do we get that one from? Yes, we are so concerned. I mean, look at the social media world. It is based on that belief. I am better because you think well of me.
Absolutely. And it's disastrous because people look, you know, I said to my daughter, so-and-so's getting divorced. They looked so happy on Facebook. Right. She said to me, Mom, everybody looks happy on Facebook. What are they going to do? Post pictures of them going through a divorce?
Right.
You know?
Right.
But people look at, oh, she's traveling, she's successful, she's this, she's that, she's so happy. And then they go, you know, feel horrible because their lives don't look like that. But where the belief comes from. So when you're little, so the first thing is you come into this world as a little ball of consciousness, and you don't know anything about yourself, life, people. You don't know if you're good enough. You don't know if you're not good enough. So the first thing that happens is because parents, and I say this with great compassion, I have 2 children, we don't get handed manuals when we leave the hospital.
Right.
That's why I created one. That was the impetus for my parenting course, is I wanted people to have a manual on how to raise kids.
That's brilliant.
Because given what I listen to all day, I'm very clear that's the answer.
So you hear people's beliefs all day long.
All day long.
Okay.
So here's how our beliefs get formed. We come into this world, we have a little, you know, the elephant story, wherever if the blind man touches the elephant, whatever he touches, he thinks that's the elephant. We grow up in this little environment, and there's mom and dad, or mom and mom, or whatever you have when you get here. And all of a sudden, you cry, and you're not picked up. And mom and dad are working, and they travel, and they don't think to call you on FaceTime and say, how was your day? You know, tell me everything, because they're busy and because they don't think they matter. So we don't get the attention we want. Now, here's the thing. I asked my client in Uganda, what do your children do when you walk in at the end of the day? And she said, they run to me. What do they want? 3 things: affection, attention, and acknowledgement. And then I say, what is the one-word question every child asks all day long? Why? Why am I not getting attention? I must not be important.
Good enough.
Good enough is different.
Oh, it is.
Attention is I'm not important. Criticism is I'm not good enough.
Oh.
You got 5 A's and a B? What's this B?
Or you don't score a goal. Yes.
What's wrong with you? You're in a restaurant, the kid's running around. Sit down, what's wrong with you? As opposed to, you're 5 years old, you want to run around the restaurant. I get it, but you can't because it disturbs people. Let's play a game at the table. So again, because we're not educated as parents, we don't know. You're good parents. But, you know, we think, I've lost it, and I'm not the perfect parent. Believe me, I was not. But I was very conscious of what my child was concluding when they walked away from me.
Yes.
Right?
That's important.
Very. So if as a child you hear, what's wrong with you? How many times do I have to tell you? You never listen. You know, oh, you broke that. You left your bike out in the rain. So at some point you go, why can't I live up to my parents' expectations? Well, I guess I'm not good enough.
It happens everywhere. Or you see an advertisement of a super happy couple and you say, why am I not like that? Or you see an advertisement of a beautiful slim girl and you say, well, that's not me. And it really happens all day long.
Only if you have those beliefs.
Okay.
See, I said to my daughter once, one of the niches I have is getting rid of people's fear of public speaking. We do it in 4 sessions and it's very fast because it's all beliefs and it's the same beliefs. And I said to my daughter, would you ever have a fear of public speaking? And she said, what? I said, if there were like 1,000 people in the room. And she said to me, will they have weapons? Why would I have a fear of public speaking?
So you didn't raise her with that, yeah.
Because she doesn't have the beliefs I'm not good enough, and what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me, which was the belief that I said my kids are never going to have. So you asked me where that belief came from. So now I'm 6 to 8 years old, and I have the belief I'm not good enough. And one day, and this is key to everything we're going to talk about. One day, someone says, oh, Lisa, you're such a ball of light. You're just so wonderful, and I just really love being with you. Or you scored a goal. Well, Hulda scored a goal, right? So I love being with you. You're wonderful. And all of a sudden, you feel good enough. So you say, I didn't feel good enough when I got criticized. Somebody thought well of me, and I did feel good enough. I guess what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. Now we have a heroin addiction, and I'm going to show you why. If you get acknowledged for scoring a goal or getting good grades, what makes me good enough are my achievements.
that manifests into adulthood.
That's workaholism.
Huge
Oh,
way.
all of this
Yes.
manifests into
Yes.
adulthood. Every single thing we're talking about manifests
Completely
into adulthood.
identified through our work.
So watch, this is how it happens, and this is why I don't like affirmations. I'm not good enough. That's here, right? I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough. You can't put something where there already is something. It doesn't work that way. Now, the only person, I'm not saying it doesn't work. If affirmations work for you, keep doing them. But they don't work for a lot of people because the only person who has to stand in front of a mirror going, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, is somebody who believes I'm not. So it keeps bringing it up.
So that space is already full.
Right, now. So I have I'm not good enough or I'm not important. Now I have a belief. We call this a survival strategy belief. What makes me good enough is having people think well of me. What makes me good enough are my achievements. What makes me good enough is pleasing people. So now I have a driven behavior that's keeping this beach ball underwater. So if you think you don't have the belief I'm not good enough, ask yourself the question, what makes you good enough? And if you say anything other than nothing I just am, you have the belief.
Even helping people or something philanthropic, that doesn't. It's, I just am good enough.
That's right.
That's the bottom line answer.
And it's wonderful to be philanthropic, and it's lovely
Right.
to be thought well
Right.
of. But it's driven. This is a driven behavior. That's what workaholism is. I love my kids.
That's society. I mean, society drives us towards accomplishments, goals.
I disagree.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, it's not sexy. You don't advertise and say, would you like to just be? That would be the end of the advertisement.
That's right.
You
That's
don't
right.
need what we have to
That's
sell.
right. See, you're right. Society can drive being thin. Society drives that. But if you raise children to know who they are, truly, that their worth and value is intrinsic, you don't have to be skinny. And you can be okay.
You actually could let go of a lot of things. Hair color, makeup, everything. It all goes, and then there's vanity. That's different.
Well, there's what works and what doesn't work.
For you, yes.
You know, for
as long
you.
as you inside feel that way. So say we do have that belief.
Which
and
belief?
That what other people think
Yeah.
of me makes
Okay.
me feel good about myself. How do we destroy that? Limit it.
My least favorite question.
Okay.
I wish I could tell you. I wish I could. And I can tell you why our beliefs stay with us through 30 years of therapy. Now, again, there are things that people do, Lisa, that teaches them how to cope with life. There are things, people have breakthroughs. There's lots of ways to get to where I'm talking about going. But there is something that holds our beliefs in place. And I will tell you what it is.
Okay.
Now, this is not doing the process. This is not eliminating a belief. But because that's a process that you have to go through that takes more than we have time for.
Yeah.
And it's personal. But imagine you think that somebody doesn't like you. So we have a mutual friend named Lisa. Imagine you think Lisa doesn't, the other Lisa.
Okay.
Lisa doesn't like you. And you and I standing and talking, and Lisa walks by, and she doesn't say hello to you. Wouldn't you say to me, see, I told you she doesn't like
There's
me.
the evidence.
There it is. See, she doesn't like me. See, I told you life is hard.
Yeah.
And it feels like we are seeing our beliefs in the world. So again, I had a young man from mainland China. I could not, not even Taiwan, mainland China, right? And he was here and we were working together. And he kept saying, I saw that I wasn't good enough and that what makes me good enough are my achievements. And it so feels like you saw it, your beliefs in the world.
You see what you focus on. You see
they-
it everywhere.
That they can't, it's almost like you're seeing beliefs, another word for beliefs, and I'll make a a distinction about the difference is meaning. So it feels like you're seeing that meaning inherent in the events. And you can't, it is impossible to not believe something you think you saw.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. But what you're saying is it's the meaning you gave it.
Yeah, well, the meaning you give it comes from your beliefs. So beliefs get formed in the past.
Okay.
Meaning gets formed in the moment. So if you have a belief, let's use a simple one, dogs are dangerous. A dog comes at you, the meaning you're going to give it is, he's going to bite me.
Yes.
If you believe people can't be trusted and your husband comes home late, the meaning you're going to give it is, oh, he's having an affair. So all of our meanings come from our, not all, but many meanings come from beliefs, and it's meanings, excuse me, that produce feelings. So I don't want to go, that's a whole nother
It's important,
ball of
though,
wax.
because we're meaning-making machines.
We are, but I don't
We
want to
are.
confuse people, because if you get rid of your beliefs, if you eliminate your beliefs, you will stop giving meaning. Let me give you an example.
Well, how? Okay, so if we have a belief that change is difficult, or we need to make a different decision about something, but we just can't seem to do that.
So let me just give you a quick example, excuse me, about the other thing. My father and my brother used to say things about me. Oh, you're just stupid, or you don't think, or, that's just how they talk. They don't mean anything. I love them with all my heart and soul. And I would get very defensive and angry. You can't talk to me that way. And I would cry and I would scream, and you don't see me and you don't know me, and all that drama. When I got rid of the belief, what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. That was my Martin Luther King Jr. moment, because I was free at last. Free at last. I mean, now, well, my just lost my dad, but my brother and my father could say things to me, and it was like watching a puppet show. It was like, oh, they just said that. Oh, interesting. I just didn't give it meaning.
You weren't hooked by it at all.
I wasn't hooked at all. Now, there are times that my brother or somebody else could say something to me, and I notice I get triggered, and I have a tool that can get rid of the meaning that I give. But ultimately, it's the beliefs that are causing your suffering.
So it's not the belief that you're good enough, it's getting rid of the belief that you're validated by other people's feelings.
That's what other people think of you.
Think of you.
Right.
Yes, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because you know what? If you really, and when I got rid of the belief, I realized, I just spoke in front of a few hundred people in Croatia, and they give you, they send you back some feedback. They give you the people comments from the people. And it was like reading an Amazon book review. Oh my God, she was amazing. Bring her back. I loved her. Boring. Oh my God, I got so much value out of it. She didn't know her audience. I've been parenting like this for years. The next one, oh, invaluable. Now, in the past, my whole life would have been about boring. Yes. And I just looked at it and I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Didn't land, right?
Didn't land.
It's okay.
Doesn't,
Yeah.
Now, if I got enough negative comments, I would absolutely look and say, I need to improve. Or, boy, what that person said, that's true for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to change that. But it doesn't mean anything about me anymore. My self-esteem is not a function of the fact that somebody thought I was boring.
This is so key to life. I mean, this is absolutely key to life, especially if you have any beliefs that you don't like the political situation or what that president said or anything like that. This is key to life. Now, there's a program that Shelly's been talking about that she has referred to a few times that's a very in-depth program. And we're offering that here for the fund drive here at Free Speech. It is called Natural Confidence, and it is an interactive multimedia program that eliminates confidence-destroying beliefs And you have to do this from your computer, which is why we can't do it here on sitting right here. This works with 19 different belief elimination modules. And you really do this in-depth program. How long does it take to go through this?
Well, it depends. I would say, give yourself about 20 minutes to a half hour for each belief.
Each belief.
But
yeah.
We just got a testimonial from a 71-year-old woman. It's on my Facebook page because I don't usually do that, but I was so inspired. She said she lived with constant anxiety.
Yeah.
And what she wrote was that she could breathe for the first time in her life when she finished this program.
Wow. I mean, that's exactly it. So you go through these modules, these belief elimination modules, and then it helps you become naturally confident. It's called natural confidence.
Yeah.
And you put in your responses, and questions are asked during the program. It's very interactive. It guides you to the next step. You don't miss a thing. It's beautiful. It also includes these deconditioning models. So it's a really incredible program. And we are asking for a $200 donation to the station. And the reason for that is because this incredible station, this mission-driven programming that brings together a community and offers free, independent, and accurate information with tons of integrity, that is freespeech.org. So if you donate $200 to the station, or if you go to freespeech.org and you can donate $200, look on there for the Aware Show's Natural Confidence Program. Or you could simply call 877-378-8669. That's 877-378-8669. Or you can go to freespeech.org. You can go to the donation button there. Choose the program Naturally Confident, and it's through the Aware Show. And you will be able to go through these 19 different modules of this program, and it's incredibly ahead of its time, too. I mean, the interactiveness, and it all is based on something that lasts through time, is beliefs. It's constant, as you said, for everyone around the world. We have these same beliefs, and it goes through those first 5 that Shelly mentioned, but continues to go through there. So please support our incredible mission-driven programming here at Free Speech. And you can go to call 877-378-8669, or go to freespeech.org and look there for the Naturally Confident program. And again, what it does, if you can explain a little bit more about it, is it goes through these beliefs, but in a way that you are working with just yourself and the program.
Yeah. One of the things you said, and I want to address it before I talk about the program, you talked about the belief change is hard and takes a long time. And I know that belief generally comes from, we have all tried, we've read all these self-help books and we've taken courses, and we come out of the courses and go, oh my God, that was brilliant. And I've had that experience myself, and I can't wait to get home and apply it. And then, 3 days later, the notes are in a drawer and nothing has changed.
Right.
And I would contend that it's the beliefs underneath that keep stopping you. So a lot of people buy self-help programs and then don't do them, and they're procrastinators. Here's a procrastination belief: no matter what I do, it'll never be good enough. Mistakes and failures are bad.
Change is difficult.
Change is difficult, so that would stop them from doing it. But it's these common beliefs that I'm not good enough, or what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me, so I can't do this program and release my program, or press the button and say, okay, I'm going to launch. And you procrastinate because you don't believe that I don't have what it takes. These are all beliefs in here. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve. These are beliefs that we have from our childhoods. None of our parents went to parenting school.
I mean, we didn't. I mean, you do the best you can as a parent, and you're busy, and you're trying to figure out how to raise a child and feed it and nurture it and make it a good adult. And there isn't. I'm glad you created. That's a whole other program, is the parenting program.
Right, because you did my parenting program.
Yes,
and
it made yes. I parent completely different. Everything I say, I think, how did that land, and what belief is she going to determine about that?
That's right.
But there's the thing about. So just call the number. I'm going to keep talking because this is such an interesting conversation. But there's the whole thing about other people giving your beliefs, giving you beliefs as well. Coaches, teachers, bosses, friends. These beliefs come from everywhere. Not only, and advertising everywhere. They can, not beliefs, but the messages come to you, and then they land on the belief, and then they reignite it.
See, again, I'm not saying, you know, I had a teacher in the 6th grade, God, I haven't thought about this in a while, who I could not wait to do calligraphy. I was so excited to get that pen with the point and the nib and learn. I was like, oh my God. And I put the pen in the ink, and I put it on the paper, and of course the ink splattered all over. And I had an art teacher, Mrs. Barnett, I'll never forget it. She came over to me and she pulled the pen out of my hands and she goes, "You're just not creative."
Ooh, ouch.
Bam.
Wow.
Bam. Now, I had a mother who was, again, my mother was an angel. She was love on legs. I said again, we talked about that before the show.
Oh, yeah.
My mother was an angel.
Yeah.
But she was a clean freak, you know, and while I was finger painting, she'd be cleaning up around me, you know. And she cared what other people thought, so it's like stay in the lines, and you have to match, you know, your shoes and bags should match, so I very rarely dressed outrageously. Now I wear whatever I want. But I spent a lot of my life because I worried about what other people thought. So when she said, "You're just not creative," it fed into, if I had had a mother who did art projects with me and said, you know, use your imagination, and, you know, you don't have to color in the lines, and, you know, just try new things, and that teacher's comment, "I'm not creative," I would have looked at her and said, yes, I am. So I'm not saying that school and teachers and people and media doesn't have an impact on you. But your first years with your parents, particularly self-esteem beliefs, generally come from your parents. Because if somebody says to you, "You're stupid," you'd look at your parents and think, do my parents think I'm stupid? Do they treat me like I'm stupid? No, they think I'm really smart. And I trust them, because guess what? My survival depends upon them. They better be right.
Not on this teacher, yes, they you know, gave me a bad grade because of some subjective reason, yes.
Now, bullying, that's pretty that can cause beliefs.
Beliefs.
I have so many clients who were bullied. But again, they didn't have parents who were validating their feelings and, you know, telling them that, you know, you can be, do, or have anything. You know.
They just said, go beat him up.
Well, whatever they said, it wasn't enough to keep that bullying. And again, you got to keep the lines, you know, again, our parents didn't know how to say, how was your day at school? How are the kids? Are you making friends? You know, where if somebody's bullying you, then you sit down and you have a conversation with your child about children who feel insecure and need to put other people down, or you're the new kid, or, you know, or kids get teased for glasses, braces, too tall, too short, too fat, too skinny, pimples, Chinese, you know, whatever. And so if you have that conversation with your kid, the bullying will likely have less of an effect. But yes, beliefs get formed, you get
everywhere
raped, something terrible happens to you. You say, oh, the world is dangerous and men can't be trusted and I'm powerless. So there are events that have you form beliefs. But I will tell you, my very, very, very favorite population to work with are people who were incested, raped, or date raped.
You can change those beliefs?
In one session, we can get rid of the beliefs. I'm damaged goods, I'm worthless, I'm powerless, you know, men are, women are, whoever hurt you. And it is, I recently worked with, it's so funny, a client said to me, I'm getting a divorce and I'm not sure how my daughter's going to handle it. Would you have a session with her? I said, of course. Kid is 19 years old, she's in college, and I get on Zoom and I look at her and I said, honey, what's wrong? You know, I've been working with people for 30 years. I said, what is it? And she starts crying. She goes, my mother doesn't know, but a year and a half ago I was date raped, and I'm so miserable, and And in one session, at the end of the session, she was smiling. And I don't want to give away,
Yeah.
because it's out of context, but there's a step that we do at the end of the process where you really get free from whatever it is, and it's the meaning piece. Meaning. It's not what happens to you in life that ruins your life. It's what you conclude about it. It's the meaning you give it that ruins your life.
Yes.
And when you get rid of those meanings, it's life-changing.
To undo the meanings. I mean, that's the point of taking this program and going through the program. And it's hard to do here unless you were witnessing a session, which is way too personal to put on camera. So the idea is going through something like this by yourself is really important. The program, again, it's called Natural Confidence, and it's an interactive multimedia program that eliminates these meanings, these confidence-destroying beliefs, all from your computer. You need to have a computer to do it, and it is sent to you. It is a physical program that is sent to you. The number to call is 877-378-8669, or you can go to freespeech.org. It is a $200 donation, so you just choose the donation there. It's under the Aware Show, and you would look for the Naturally Confident program, and that's the result of what you're getting is natural confidence. And the point of this, it's 19 different modules, and you go through this at your own pace, and you really are honest about the questions that you're answering, really honest.
In fact, one of the things that I'll tell you is when you look at each belief, because they are the most common beliefs. I mean, I work with them every day, all day, CEOs. I had 5 Harvard PhDs who had the belief, I'm stupid.
Wow.
They knew they weren't stupid, but they still believed it. And the way that you discover a belief, and again, evidence doesn't get rid of your beliefs because you think you saw your belief in the world earlier.
So straight A's and thesis and none of it gets rid of it.
My father called me an idiot every day. I saw that I was stupid. When you go through this program, say the belief out loud and then don't speak, don't say anything. And if you have any hesitation, there's one belief that's not in here, but it's a belief, I'm not worth loving. And if somebody says that out loud and they have that belief, they are almost guaranteed to cry. It just brings tears to your eyes. When you say, I'm not good enough, it doesn't feel good when you say it. And then say, I'm a monkey. And you'll see that I'm a monkey is just words. I mean, I'm not good enough is just words.
Is it just words?
Words. I'm not good enough.
But it's attached to the meaning that we gave it in the
Well, it's attached to the fact that you believe it, that it's true. So it feels yucky because it feels true. If you say it, I'm not good enough, and it feels flat and it feels like I'm a monkey, then ask yourself the question, what makes me good enough? And if you really believe, I am good enough. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to please people. I don't have to be. And if you're successful, ask yourself the question: if I didn't have my success, Morty and I went bankrupt many, many years ago. We had a magnificent home in Westport, Connecticut, with a swimming pool and an acre of land, and we were pretty set. And we lost everything. We went bankrupt, and it's interesting. I was crying hysterically one day, and Morty came into the room. He said, honey, what's wrong? I said, what's wrong? Brain injured? We're losing everything.
Yeah.
He said to me, we're not losing everything. He said, we have each other. We have our only one child at the time who was very, very young. And he said, Shelly, let me ask you a question. I said, what? He said, if we had to live on an island and eat coconuts, would we be okay? And I went, yeah. He said, so what are you crying about? Obviously we're not going to live on an island and eat coconuts, but boy, was that humbling. It was just like, wow.
I remember you told me the story about getting involved with the investment thing, and it wound up being one of those scams, and it was a whole thing. So, yeah, anything that can happen in your life, any event that happens in your life, it doesn't have meaning until you give it meaning.
Well, it doesn't have meaning, period. Even after you give it meaning, it doesn't have meaning.
No.
Everybody always says that, and I have to clean it up.
The worst thing that could even happen, if you don't give it the meaning, Now, what's the difference between this and disassociation?
Oh, big difference.
disconnecting.
See, Morty's belief in himself gave different. So Morty believed, I made the money before, I will make it again. We have something that's, at the time we were working in business, we were doing this work in corporations. So we weren't quite yet working with individuals.
Wow.
But
Wow.
he believed that he would
Recreate it.
rise like the phoenix from the ashes, and he did. So given that, he didn't give the bankruptcy the meaning, we're going to starve to death. So it's, again, your beliefs
That's amazing.
that have you give meaning. And what you said is a little out there, but you brought it up, so let me just address it. So the meaning we give events
Yeah.
is what causes our feelings. So let me give you an example. Everybody do this with me. Somebody walks into a room and doesn't say hello to you. What do you automatically think?
They don't like me, or
They
didn't
don't like
acknowledge me.
They didn't acknowledge me. They're rude. Whatever you said is fine. That's meaning. Whatever answer you gave, that's called meaning. Where did that meaning come from?
Myself, some are probably my past.
No.
Oh, my brain.
Yes. Meaning comes from your mind. They don't like me. I'm not going to be able to do that.
thoughts.
Somebody cut me off. They're a jerk. I made a mistake. I'm an idiot. My boss yelled at me. They're going to fire me. That's meaning.
Yeah.
So an event happens. My boss yelled at me. They're going to fire me is meaning. He's going to fire me or she's going to fire me is meaning, right?
Okay.
The guy or girl didn't call when they said they would. They don't like me. I'm not good enough. I'm a loser. They're going to want to go out. They're not going to want to go out with me. That's all meaning. Meaning comes from your mind. So if meaning comes from your mind, do events have inherent meaning?
Yes.
Tell me an event that has inherent meaning.
If you say, go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Then-
Good. What meaning does that have? What do you know?
Failure.
Here's another way of saying it. You don't know anything for sure because something happens. So if you
Wow.
go bankrupt, that does not mean
Failure.
failure.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
Something happened. Failure is an assessment. But even if you failed, what does that mean? It doesn't mean you're never going to be successful. It
Right.
doesn't mean you're going to starve. It doesn't mean your kid's not going to go to gymnastics because my friend paid for it. It doesn't mean you can't get a new car because my friend co-signed. The events have no meaning. Now, they may have consequences. Let me give you the most extreme example. I was married, as you well know, to one of the most extraordinary, exquisite human beings on the planet. He was the real deal in every way. Now, 3.5 years ago, he died.
Yes.
The consequence is I live alone. I have a lot on my plate. So those are the consequences,
Okay,
right?
okay.
I'm responsible for the money, pretty much. But does that mean I'll never be happy again? Does it mean I'm going to starve to death?
Does it mean you're alone?
No, it doesn't mean I'm alone because I can have roommates.
You have friends.
I have friends.
Tons of friends,
I could,
yeah.
totally. I could go out 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
I can have somebody live with me. I could go out and get married again. I don't have to be. Now, am I alone right now? Yes. That was a consequence of his death.
But it's a choice.
But it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Exactly. So events have consequences. If you lean out a window, the consequence is you're going to fall out. But that doesn't mean you're stupid or windows are dangerous. So that's the piece. It's the meaning that we give events that cause our suffering. And events don't have any meaning. You don't know anything for sure because anything happens. I don't care if it's 9/11.
I was going to ask you, so let's talk about politics.
Okay.
And we have, there's a meaning that we give to a president that tweets something that's harmful or dangerous to a certain group of human beings.
That's right.
That's fact. That is dangerous, that is harmful, that is hurtful, okay?
Hurtful
Is different,
No.
huh?
That people get hurt is a consequence. hurtful. Nothing is hurtful if you don't give it meaning.
Let's back this up for a second, because I've been thinking a lot about this office of the presidency, and that we've given a meaning in traditionally, that the President of the United States has to speak in a certain way, has to behave in a certain way, and their words will impact the American people. That is actually all false. I really broke this down. And why do we give that meaning? Because we looked at presidents like Washington and Jefferson, and these people really had eloquent, and they were forming our country at the time.
And slave owners.
Yes, this is true. This is true. So at the point that we give meaning to anything that the leader of the free world says is on us, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, none of this has to do with taking action. In fact,
thank you for saying that, yes.
In fact, if you if you're giving meaning, right, you're going to start having emotions. He's an idiot, I hate him, oh my God, he's destroying the world. And now you're at the effect of this guy or woman, or whoever it is, I'm going to stay non-political, who is speaking. So you're rendered powerless because you're in your emotions. But if you say, okay, he just said that. Now, the fact that he said it doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean it has to happen, doesn't mean anything. Now, what do I want to do about it? How do I want to take action to make sure that that doesn't happen?
Here's a perfect example. So we have the tariffs that have changed, and you see that there's a lot of companies that are now closing because they can't afford to put these clothes out, or people can't afford to buy them, and the prices have changed. A lot of people are losing their jobs. That's the evidence of what's happening.
No, that's the reality.
Yes, that's the reality.
That's what's happening. Right.
I've seen certain stores then become resilient, and
exactly.
Then they create the online sale, and then they give the people that had the jobs there, now they're doing something different, and then they just recycle those employees into teach them a new skill set, and then they've changed their model.
Yeah.
Some companies can do that, some companies can't, but that's the example, is you don't...
Beliefs.
Right.
See, companies have beliefs too. And by the way, the fact that something doesn't have meaning doesn't mean, it is not to say that it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It matters to me that my husband died. It matters to me that 9/11 happened. My friend's daughter was killed. But it doesn't mean all Arabs are terrorists, or Muslims are bad, or tall buildings are dangerous, or we'll never be safe again. That's the difference. We look at reality. I said to you earlier, when I lost my husband, I grieved. I was sad. I miss him terribly. I miss him every minute of every day. But it was the meanings that I was giving his death that kept me in the bed. I'm never going to be happy again. I'm never going to have fun again. I can't make it without him. My business is going to suffer. I'm too old. No one's going to want me. None of that is true. None of that is true. And when I got rid of those meanings, that's when I was able to get out of bed.
You absolutely have transformed your life using your own work.
Totally.
After 30 years of doing the work.
Totally.
With your husband. Mm-hmm. You've turned your whole business around. You're speaking on these stages with millennials, and I love it. And it's landing beautifully. Yeah. And you're talking about parenting, and you're talking about meaning and belief, and it's just awesome. I love watching you. Yes, you were devastated.
Thank you.
But I love watching you flourish. I really do.
Thank you.
Shelly's a perfect example of how the Naturally Confident program works. And if you give us a call here, 877-378-8669, you will be able to go and look up the Naturally Confident program. Natural Confidence. Natural Confidence program. You can check that out there. And this is a way to change your beliefs. This is a confidence. It eliminates these destroying beliefs, and it helps you build your confidence. You do all of this from your own computer. It's interactive. It's multimedia. It is a wonderful, wonderful program, and Shelly's a great, perfect testament of her own program. Yes.
I have businesses that send me, and it's very expensive to fire people, and retrain new people. So I have a few businesses that send me their people, and when they get rid of their beliefs, they go back. I had one client, this is interesting, A lot of us have read the books that mistakes and failures are learning opportunities. You know, Richard Branson says if you're not failing, you're going to be mediocre because you're doing what you did yesterday. So we all know this. I knew this. Didn't matter. I still had the belief mistakes and failures are bad. And this is many, many years ago. And I noticed that like I said to my friend one day, my best friend, Letha, I said, Letha, how did you learn PowerPoint? And she said, well, I went on and I failed and failed and failed until I figured it out.
Yeah.
And I went, oh my God, I would never do that. And I found 2 beliefs that are on here that was life-changing for me. One is mistakes and failures are bad. And if you think you don't have that belief, ask yourself the question, because even if you know it's not true, ask yourself the question, when I make a mistake or fail, do I say, way to go, Shell, great learning opportunity, or do I beat myself up? Do I tell people, oh my God, I made such a mess, I failed, I put out this...
You say, I shouldn't have, you go back in time.
And you beat yourself up.
Yes.
So that's how you know. The other belief I had was fascinating. And everybody, just look in your own lives. I lived alone in New York City. I had my own apartment. I was, a million years ago, I was in the travel business. I traveled the world. If you would have said to me, are you a capable person? I would have said, yeah. Because I did a lot of things well. But when I couldn't do something well, I didn't do it. I staffed it out. I asked a friend. I didn't take it on. Because you know what? I had the belief I'm not capable. Because I had a mother who loved me so much that she did everything for me. Meant well, was not a bad mother. She was an unbelievable mother.
I had the same mother.
I'll do it, Mamala. I'll do it, sweetheart. If I was struggling with something,
Yeah.
she'd say, I'll do it, Mamala.
Yeah.
I'll do it, sweetheart. You go play.
And as a daughter of that mother, to undo that and not do that to my daughter, it takes full conscious awareness.
That's right.
And it
That's
does,
right.
yeah.
Because that's exactly right. Because you
Yeah.
have to be so careful.
Let her fail, let her be okay with failure, and not do it for her. Because it's the only way I ever learned. But then my mom called me stubborn.
But it shows you that, that these beliefs that you think you don't have. When I said I'm not capable, tears sprang to my eyes and I went, what? That's crazy.
In my life, yes.
But man, when I got rid of that belief, and mistakes and failures are bad, that's how I could do what I do. I don't know how to run a business. I don't know the first thing about running a business, nor do I care, nor do I ever want to.
You want to.
But somehow I figured it out.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
In the spirit of Free Speech TV, I love the segment. It's called The Aware News. And in this segment, I like to talk about current events and how it relates to the body of work of my guest and provides possibilities and solutions for a better world. And according to an article that I found in Psychology Today, beliefs can also influence health behaviors. We haven't spoken about health here. And research suggests that people are more likely to engage in health-promoting behaviors like eating well and exercising if they have a greater sense of self-efficacy. That is, if they believe that they're capable of effectively performing these behaviors. So if you feel that you're capable of eating well, or you feel that you're capable of exercising, if you believe it, if you believe that, then you're more likely to do that. So how do we change the belief of wanting to eat healthy, wanting to exercise, wanting to have a good, positive body image?
It's a great question, and I want to tell you my take on it. I'm not saying this is true, but this is my take. So the belief I'm not important is huge. So if you believe I'm not important, you're not going to put yourself first. You're not going to feed your body well because you're not important. So why would I take the time to cook healthy food or exercise? If you believe what makes me good enough are my achievements, you're going to be at work, not at the gym. So there are those beliefs. I believe very strongly that as long as, when I say very strongly, oh, by the way, a belief is a statement about reality that you believe is the truth. That's what I mean when I say belief. So it's like being pregnant. You either is or you ain't. It's a belief. I believe this to be true. It's not sometimes, it's not usually.
Is it reality? Is it really?
No, it's just belief. I believe
Okay.
it, because I said I believe it very strongly. A belief is, I believe, that this water is not going to
actually is.
poison me. I believe that. It's true for me. That's what a belief is, right? So I believe that as long as I am on this planet, I want to be, my mother told me life's about having fun and enjoying it, having fun, basically. So when I go to Hawaii, when my daughter lives in Hawaii, and I'm going tonight, and when my daughter says, do you want to go on a hike? I don't say how high, how far, or how long. I say yes. Because I have the belief that eating well and exercise will allow me to be in life the way I want to be. I actually really believe that.
Yes.
I'm at the gym 6 days a week for at least an hour and a half, usually, at least. Because, and I'm not a morning person, but I get up to do it.
Yes.
Because my belief is if I don't, I'm going to get old and sedentary, and I'm not interested.
I have the same belief. I go every day because I know it changes my thoughts. I go every day with all sorts of self-doubt, and then I get out of the gym and I feel tons of possibilities, incredible support for others, for support for myself. My whole brain changes because I believe it does.
But
Yes.
I used to believe that the way to get pleasure is to eat, because my mother was a Jewish mother who fed me.
Yes.
And I had lots of eating issues. Food. My, I was a sugar, a self-proclaimed sugar addict, which I don't believe anymore. Again, that's a belief. I'm a sugar addict. I can't just have one,
Yeah.
So with health, your beliefs are very instrumental to how you feed yourself, how you take care of yourself. If you believe food is the way to get pleasure or the way to comfort myself, guess what? You're not going to comfort yourself with a carrot.
So you have to actually have the belief that you are worthy of being
Yes.
healthy,
Yes.
thin, whatever it is that you, agile.
I'm worth taking care of.
Yes.
If you were taught from the day that you were born that this is the vehicle that's going to take you through life, I just turned a very big age, which I just turned, I can't say it.
It's all good.
But
You have
I'm
such youth and vibrancy in your life, and
absolutely.
yes.
That's why I don't want to say the number, because
Yeah.
it doesn't represent me
It doesn't.
in any way.
Yes.
I've been taking yoga for 17 years, and I just got off the wall doing a headstand last week.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. And look at the joy that you have
Yeah.
from something like that. Yes, I mean, some of the biggest health gurus that I know, they would not put sugar in their body because it feels like poison to them.
That's right.
And that is how they live. And,
Yeah.
and it makes you see the respect they have for their body and how they just really won't put toxins in their body because they feel that much love and respect for their bodies.
And I believe, and this is a belief that I've looked at in different ways, life's too short to not enjoy things sometimes.
Okay.
That's my belief. You
That's
could believe
right.
sugar. I have friends who will tell you sugar's poison and toxic and blah,
Right.
blah, blah. My mother was 93 when she died. My father was 95.
Wow.
They ate nothing but processed food. So guess
There you have
what?
it.
They have it.
Right.
They had very good beliefs.
Right. You hear about this all the time. People living well into their hundreds and loving life, and that's how they stay so healthy. Well, I want to mention one more time that there is a fund drive going on here with Free Speech TV. And if you call right now, 877-378-8669, you look for or ask the volunteers about the program that is called Natural Confidence. It is an interactive multimedia program that eliminates these confidence-destroying beliefs. All of this is done from your own computer. So call right now, 877-378-8669, or go to freespeech.org. It is an incredible program. It really helps. There's 19 different modules, and it really helps you go through each belief in your own time, with your own pacing, by yourself and really look inside and find your own truth on these things. And that's really what the Aware Show is all about. That's what your work is all about, is getting, and it's really about living this incredible sense of freedom. So it's an incredible
Intentional life. That's what I love. When you get rid of beliefs, so a lot of what we do is driven, it's automatic, it's consistent with our beliefs. When the beliefs go away, you do have freedom to create your life intentionally, to look at your relationships, to look at your career, to look at your parenting, to look at your health, and to say, what do I want in these areas? And actually know that you can have that.
This program has helped so many people start their own businesses or do better in business, and it really gives them the confidence they need to have better relationships, to get over the things that are holding them back. So many different things. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for being here. Great information, great show, and I appreciate your work so much.
Thanks, Lisa, and I appreciate you and the amazing, amazing people that you bring to your viewers. It's just, you're such a light on this planet. You really, really are.
See, I feel really good by that. You can also find out more about Shelly by going to her website, which is recreateyourlife.com. And I am Lisa Garr. Thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to watch more inspirational programming, you can go to theawareshow.com. You can reach out to me on Facebook at Lisa Garr Host. I am Lisa Garr, and until next time, I invite you to stay aware.